One. I think we're live.
I'm going to hang this up and try it again. I'm going to reset it.
Okay. How about now?
Oh, nice. There you go.
We're live, just so you know.
We are live. Yes, this is Joe Sonona with Coffee Talk with the Listing Pros in Real Estate. And my guest this week is Chad Brannam from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Joe.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm staying busy. You know, it's a time of year when a lot of agents slow down, and this is actually my busy time of the year.
Awesome. So tell the folks here in New York anyway, or across the country where this is being broadcasted, how did we meet? What's your story? What's your background? Where you work?
Yeah, so my name is Chad Brannam, and I'm an agent here at Coldwell Banker, the Property Exchange in Cheyenne, Wyoming. A lot of people go, "Where the heck's Wyoming?" Well, we're kind of Midwest, but we're kind of West. We're kind of in the middle there between both of those. I met Joe about a year and a half ago. He came to do a class here in Cheyenne, the accelerated real estate course, and it taught me a lot of principles that I apply. So, been in real estate for just under 3 years. Last year I did about 26 deals. That was darn near triple what I did my first year. So.
Oh, that's great. And for those of our audience that doesn't know, when I met Chad, he invited me to his broker's open house, and it was something like I never experienced before. It was actually like a cookout, and it was smoked meats on a barbecue, and I'll never forget that as long as I live.
Wyoming, we like our beef out here, so. We had hamburgers, bratwurst. That was actually our open house for the new construction and model home for Gateway Construction here in town, who I'm no longer part of, but they're still a great company, so I'll still promote them.
Yeah, that was a very nice house that we had seen, and then that horizon, I'll never forget that view, and it was beautiful area. I love Cheyenne. I hope to return someday soon and teach a class there. But let's talk about you as a listing pro in real estate, because that's what this coffee talk is all about. Inspiration, inspiring new agents out there. So let's start with the first question. What's your secret sauce, Chad? And I don't mean barbecue sauce either.
So, my biggest thing is I don't do any BS. I'm straight to the point. There is no being a salesman anymore. If somebody comes into my office, they're already looking to buy or they're already looking to sell. My job is to shut my mouth, listen to them, and find them what they're looking for. I don't have to sit here and go, oh, well, this house would fit you because, no, what do you want out of a house? That's what I'm going to find you. But, and that always changes. Every day buyers come in and their minds are different, and you just got to be able to roll with that.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how many years you been a realtor?
So I'm just under 3 years. July will be my 3-year mark.
Would you consider yourself a top producer, or you still have a lot to learn?
I always have a lot to learn. Last year I did just shy of $6 million in sales.
Nice.
For a guy who's only 2 years in the business, I'm being told that's pretty good, especially in Wyoming. We have pretty low inventory here, so you really got to work hard to get up there.
What is your average selling price there in Wyoming?
So our median price right now is $269. I think when you were here a year and a half ago, our median price was I want to say $244, $247,
wow.
Something like that.
Oh, so it's gone up, okay.
Yeah, and it's gone up a lot, and it's going to continue to go up.
What does that equate to, your volume in sales? How many homes did that equate to in your first year?
that was 26 homes for me last year.
Oh, awesome.
And I
Awesome.
average my average sale, my personal average sale is about 223. I work with a lot of first time buyers and a lot of military.
Tell me about that. Do you have any like special designations that you're going for, and or because you work with military vets like
I don't
MRP?
I don't really have any. I don't have any designations in that right now. They're in my cards when I did my plans for this year, my goals. I'd like to do an MRP, the military representative. Um, but right now, I work with military as a personal. I do my own little thing. I try not to send them towards the outside companies who take money out of my paycheck and then give them just a small portion. I have my own rewards program for my military members. So I end up doing quite a few military.
Nice. And what do you think of the SRS, the Sellers Representative Specialist? Is that something that perhaps could help you in your career?
It's funny you say that. I went through it and I paid and I did the whole program, and then I forgot about and I never
Mm.
filed my paperwork, so I got to
Oh,
redo it again.
that's not what
Well,
I taught you.
I know, it just life got kind of crazy for me for a while. On the personal side, I quit drinking. I lost my daughter. I mean, I just had life just crushed me there for about a good 6 months, and so
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of things got slipped to the wayside, and that just happened to be one of them. So I know the program now. So getting that SRS is going to actually be a lot easier than it was last time.
And you probably will qualify. You will qualify because you have those sales under your belt, where you could prove that you've gone, I think, about 3 to 5 transactions. So get it, go for it. And as those of you who are just tuning in, who are new agents, designations are especially a powerful tool to have, especially on a listing presentation. And once you have these designations, you can talk to your client source, and you can demonstrate your value proposition there by telling them that you stand out amongst your peers, that you have this, and it exercises or brings out the law of agency of reasonable care. So let's talk about other issues or other things, items that you would bring on a listing presentation, like technology. What kind of technology do you use?
I'm not into the technology as a lot of the younger agents are.
That was
I'm
a trick question because I knew you don't do technology.
I know. I came into real estate like a lot of other people. I was a little older. We see here in Cheyenne anyway, we're getting a lot of younger kids involved, and they want to go out there with these iPads and all this fancy stuff. I go out there with a folder full of my listing presentation, and I sit down and I talk to people. I don't. I try not to do text messages unless people ask me to send them text messages. I want to go voice to voice, face to face. I think that's very important in what we do, and I think that a lot of that is going away, which is going to make the job more difficult, if you ask me.
Yeah, yeah. Personalized service, follow up. That's key, very key, essential to reasonable care. And but you have a very nice personality, if you don't mind me saying that. People would want to buy from you. People would want to sell from you. So again, going back to your secret sauce, do you get a lot of referrals?
I do quite a few. I think I did about 8 referrals last year, which
Wow.
for here that's pretty darn good. When it comes to my personality, is I don't care who you are. You could be the poorest of the poorest or the richest of the richest, and I'm still going to talk to you like we're sitting here talking right now. I mean, we're all human beings out here. My stature, your stature means nothing to me. I was in the military for about 12 years, and people used to wonder, how do you talk to colonels and generals like, all
Oh, there you go.
the time? And they were like, well, how do you do that? And I said, there's still people. There's a different respect line when it comes to the higher ups, but you still just treat people like people.
Yeah. And that's what people they want to hear. That they want to hear your I guess they want to see that you're totally human about who you are, and they just want to have a conversation. And it's probably easier to have a conversation where you are, because people are very, very, they're like here, they're down to earth, and they're down to earth by you, because I've experienced it by just visiting you, how so friendly they are, and
Mm-hmm.
they're very adaptable, so that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out, but it takes someone like yourself who has that personality, and you work very well with the public. Tell
Yeah,
me what. Oh, go ahead.
Wyoming's still, Cheyenne's a small town. I mean, we're about 65,000 people population. I can still get stuff done on a handshake out here,
Mm,
and that makes it great to me because that's the way I was brought up. You work for somebody, they work for you. It's just everybody helps everybody.
that's awesome. Tell me, what advice would you give to a new agent?
Show up. That's the one thing I see a lot. People think real estate, oh, this is easy money. I go in, I can work 2 days a week, but then they come and they go, man, how come I'm not as busy as you? Well, I tell you what, I work 7 days a week. I try to get up about 6 o'clock. I try to be at work by about 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I don't go home till 5 o'clock. Even if I have nothing going on, I'm still in my office. I'm reading, I'm educating myself, I'm messing with the MLS. There's always something to do in real estate. Those people who say, well, I've got nothing to do. Well, you're just not doing it.
Do you use any special contact real estate management systems? How do you keep in touch with these clients? How do you even generate leads, or new people in your first year? Because a lot of new agents I find that are looking at this program, they want to know that, because they're finding it very difficult to get started.
The big thing is get you a CRM. I use Buffini. I love Buffini's CRM. It's amazing. It tracks so much for you. I mean, it can track even your business, right down to your business. So at the end of the year, you're not going, wonder what I did. It's right there.
Yeah,
Build that database. If I talk to somebody over at Buffalo Wild Wings having lunch, I get their name, I try to get their phone number, and I put them in that database because now they're a potential client.
yeah.
It's all about going out and meeting people. Don't sit around thinking that the business is going to come to you. You got to go find it.
We just had a seminar the other day with Ricky Caruth, and he came to Long Island for the first time, and he spoke about building relationships over transactions and meeting people and branding yourself. And when we were together in Wyoming, I had done a small little segment for your class. I remember about branding yourself a social media expert.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday, when he spoke to our group, uh, it just reminded me about building a brand. What
Mm-hmm.
kind of brand has Chad built in town?
Most people know me as the no BS guy. I walk with clients into a house and go, you don't like this house. This house isn't for you. I've got a big green pickup truck. Everybody knows my truck. I'm finding this out. It's got my name all over it. Um, you know,
When you say your license plate, or is there signs on the
oh,
side? Or
I've got vinyl decals on it. I've got
oh, nice.
everything. It's got my name. It's got my phone number, my brokerage, everything. And you put big blue stickers on a big green truck, they stand out.
It's
But I always
true.
got to be careful because when I flip the guy off when he cuts me off, they usually call me, and not for the reason I want them to. So you got to be careful doing that as well. I mean, because again, it stands out. Everybody knows it.
I got the Sonoma license plate on mine, so you will never see me in any places where I don't want to be known.
That's it. That's it. Yeah. You don't
No,
see my
but
you
it's
don't see
good
my
branding. It's good branding.
yeah, and the best branding out there is just being out there talking to people.
Mhm.
Word of mouth is the biggest way to brand yourself.
So, being a non-technology guy, that's what you recommend to those who will not embrace technology the way a lot of people are on social media with Instagram and Facebook and
Yeah.
LinkedIn and all those other mediums. So, you would say talking to people, very essential to your business, more so than technology?
I believe so, because that's what we're lacking, is that personal touch.
Do you
You
do
know,
video?
what's that?
Do you do video?
Sometimes I'll do a Facebook Live, just because, I mean, it's a necessary part of the job to do that stuff,
Yeah.
especially with my open houses and things like that. This is my first time doing an interview like this online. I will admit that. Um, it's just not who I am.
Right. But
You know,
it's
it's
cool though. I mean, you feel relaxed. I feel relaxed, and
Yeah,
your audience will see this when it goes on Facebook Live, and and people will begin to not just see you, but I'm building a brand just doing this show, and
mhm,
trying to inspire new agents. As I'm trying to follow the same philosophies as Ricky Caruth of reducing the failure rate in real estate. And by
yeah.
having a program like this that will help new agents kind of get back on track, or even newer agents trying to get on track with their business, we're both inspiring new agents and other agents right now in our business.
Oh
Believe
yeah.
it or not, just talking about our businesses.
I'm still young in this business at just under 3 years, and some of the biggest things that I struggled with were these kind of things that you talk about on this program. I didn't know where to start. I didn't know what to do. I knew none of this stuff. I walk around my office and I visit agents every morning. This is what I call my seasoned agents. I go in there and I kind of pick their brains on what they do, and then I put it together and see if it works for me. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. You know,
So you would think surrounding yourself with those types of agents, those top producing agents, is a really essential element of your business model, or trying to
very,
get your business going.
very essential. I mean, it helped me out so much. I mean, we've got 85 agents here at my office,
Oh wow,
and I tell you what, I've sat down and spoke to every one of them, from the newest to the oldest. I've not missed a day talking to one of them.
how many referrals do you get from out of state into your office?
I haven't had any right now. I do Boomtown. I am on Boomtown. So I guess I have got a couple, because I get a couple referrals from Boomtown. I've got one guy coming in from Salt Lake City and another couple coming in from Los Angeles.
Nice.
And the one from Los Angeles was actually a sign call, and we went out and found them a little piece of Wyoming property. Coming from the hustle and bustle of Los Angeles out to here, that's a big deal. So we got them on some acreage with a new house, and the other kid from Salt Lake City, and the house. He was up here for 3 hours and we put an offer on a house.
Nice, very nice.
So,
Why come to Wyoming when I could have just stayed in Utah, or I could have just
so
stayed
one
in?
of them was military. One of them was military. The other ones just want out of California. They want out of the big city. But again, the nice thing about my area is 45 minutes one direction, you're in the mountains and the lakes. An hour and a half the other direction, you're in the big city. You're down in Denver, Colorado. So I mean, Cheyenne's a great location.
It
Little,
really is. I
little plug.
drove from Colorado to Cheyenne when I came, and it was not a bad ride. But what was that restaurant you had recommended? I went there on my way out
Oh,
toward
was it
Denver. Oh
was it
my god,
Stick?
it had the best brisket. It was like a really nice place. It was almost like a sports bar. I forgot the
That's
name of it.
probably the Rib and Chop House.
That's it. That's it. That
Yeah.
was it. Best bread pudding I've ever eaten. Second best bread pudding I've ever eaten in my. But
Yeah.
I love barbecue beef because of that trip.
Oh yeah. Well,
um. So tell me that goes along the lines of branding then, because when I had asked you what is the best restaurant around for that trip, I remember when you told me that was the place to go. Um, you had recommended it, and then I had told the person that was serving us that one of our students recommended it. Uh, if everything is word of mouth, then you must be talking up your business community. You must be talking about your area to the customer, the consumers out there, and friending that, and then making a connection to put them into your contact real estate management system, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, that's another big thing is know your area, know your community. Um, I shouldn't, but my wife and I, we enjoy going out to dinner. We like to go out and meet people and talk to people, and it drives her nuts because everywhere I go, I know somebody. And so I can spend 15, 20 minutes talking to them when she's like, hey, you're supposed to be with me. But,
Don't worry, my wife does the same thing. So
yeah,
it's
I
the
mean,
nature of our business to know people, and unfortunately, at times we know too many people, and but when we deliver, when we make our relationships happen, and we have too many relationships, and we get that bond with our clients, then they become friends, and then they become family to us, and then they leave us, whether they retire and move on to another state, or they depart from this world. And it's the saddest thing because we have developed that relationship. So I get it. I get what you're talking about.
yeah, I mean, I had a client, I met him a week before the house closed. It was the seller of a house that my client was buying, and he and I connected, and he passed away a week after we sold the house. And so, I mean, I know exactly what you're saying right there.
Yep. Yep. So anything else you'd like to add for our viewing audience? What does it take to really become a top producer in a company? What does it take to just survive?
Again, it's knowing your job, doing your job, being here, educating yourself. I took your class. I take classes all the time. I just did. I don't know if you heard of the Ninja installation.
Yep.
I took that class last year. That was a whole week of just learning. Now, I don't use any class I take. I don't use every bit of it. I try to take pieces of it and mold it into my everyday job. And so, I use some of yours. I use some of Ninja. I use Buffini. I mean, just everything comes together for me. So getting your education and knowing what you're selling, knowing the houses out there. Our broker the other day talked about it, touring. So many people will not go out on tour anymore. Well, how do you know your houses? How do you know the community if you don't go out there and see what's out there?
Are you talking like a broker's open house?
No, we actually go out on tour. You get a list of houses from our MLS meeting. And then you go out and you walk through the houses. That's a good way to see what's going on in the
Really?
market. It's like, okay, our prices are going up. What does this house have that this one over here I'm trying to list has, so we can get those prices in the right place. So you go out there and you see what's out there. Another thing I do is I just drive. I'll take one day a week and I'll just drive around the town. For one, it gets my big green truck out there with my name on the side of it. For two, it lets me know what streets are where, because one of the most embarrassing things is driving around and not knowing where you're going.
Mm.
So you want to get out there and know your community, be in the community, and not just with the volunteer stuff, but again, just knowing where you're at.
It's awesome. Awesome. Do you have any special programs that you highlight to your first time home buyers, like grant monies? Does your state give grant monies out?
Yeah, so out here in Wyoming, we have WCDA. I'm not going to remember what it stands for, but it's our first time home buyers program.
Okay.
And, the nice thing for that is they give like a second mortgage to help out with your closing costs and all that stuff, some down payment. So for $1,500, you come in there and they'll give you $10,000 to help cover all that stuff.
Nice.
So, and then it's an interest-free loan for the life of the loan. So if you don't ever move, you stay in the house for 30 years. At your 30-year mark, that's when the second mortgage will come in and you got to pay it off. If you sell the house, then you just pay it off when you sell the house. So
Very
it's
nice.
a great program. I use that a lot because you can combine that with an FHA loan as well.
Oh, you can. That's great.
So what's really nice is the WCDA interest rate can be different from the FHA interest rate, and so they'll give you the WCDA interest rate with an FHA loan.
And
So,
how did you get so schooled on this?
I spend a lot of time with my lenders. I have about 4 or 5 lenders that I deal with constantly. One of them is a really good friend of mine. Matter of fact, we're doing a big Super Bowl party together this weekend where we're inviting all our clients and past clients and future clients together.
That's great.
Um, so you mix in with them. You got to know what's going on out there for the money side of it, because that's the question that's going to get asked every time. What are our interest rates? What happens with this kind of loan? You've got to be able to answer those questions or know who to refer to get those answers to those questions.
That's awesome. I think you're doing a great job. I I will go back a little bit and ask you what were the key takeaways when we were out there in Wyoming, and what were the key takeaways from that accelerator program for agents to learn? Do you remember some key takeaways?
Joe's calling me out.
Well, do you remember this? Remember when the class called me out to stop using a written book to put in all my appointments, and then they asked me to put them all in to the phone, into the Gmail calendar? Oh, so you have a book now.
I have a book. I have Gmail calendar. I write things down about 5 different places because I
Okay.
never know where I'm going to be. I might not be around my computer. I might not have my phone in my hand at that moment. You just never know where I'm at.
So it was good for me to burn my book, my daily minder, and put everything on my Gmail calendar here on the phone. But it's not good enough for you guys.
Well,
I see.
like I say, I use it too. I hired an assistant this year, and she's always on my backside about get it in the Google Calendar, get it in
Oh,
there.
that's awesome. When
So
did you? So this is like almost your fourth year, and you have an assistant.
yeah, Well, I'll be hitting my 3-year mark will start January timeframe.
That's great. So would
So
you recommend that to a new agent, that they not hire an assistant right away? That they
only
would.
if you're busy enough. I had to sit down and really look at my budget, to see if my budget was going to allow to have an assistant. Well, she's only part time. She only works about 20 hours a week. That's plenty for what I need at this moment. So it depends on your needs, how busy you are.
Right.
For the first year and a half, I wasn't busy enough. So, but I found out that if I brought her in by doing my budget, that if I sell 2 more houses a year, her pay is covered.
That's
So,
great.
she
That's
opens
really.
up my time to get that extra deals.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of agents don't have assistants, and they like to take full control of their business. And for years, I didn't have an assistant until I realized that I'm no good to my clients if I can't focus on just their needs and listings and sales. I'm no good to them if I try to do everything myself.
Yeah.
And it's the paperwork, right, in our
Yeah.
business that boggles us down. But any other last minute advice or last things you want to add?
Just show up. Show
Show
up.
up.
This is a job. This is not a vacation. It's a job. And if you work hard enough in this business, you'll enjoy the vacations later. Dave Ramsey says something that I just love. It's one of my favorite quotes out there. Live, live. What is it? Um, Live today like no one else, so that you can live like no one else.
Nice.
So I try to live my life that way. I want to work hard now so that I can enjoy my life later. So treat this as a job, because it is. It's a full-time job. I think,
I I think that's excellent advice, and I think that I'm going to call this the showing up episode, because you added a lot of insight for not just agents that are new, but for those that are in the business 5, 10, 15 years. And I guess they stop showing up after a while.
I mean, I guess they get to a point that they don't feel they need to.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping I never reach that point.
Me neither.
I watched the interview with Joyce the other day. You and I talked about Joyce. I love her to death. So I hope she's watching this video. She says that she wakes up every morning just excited to come to work.
Mm-hmm.
I am in that same boat. I love it. I've worked hard jobs my whole life with construction, military, mechanicking, outside part sales. I mean, I've worked my whole life and I love what I do. I love being able to come to work in a nice shirt. I love having a nice office. I love just going out and talking to people every day. I mean, this is a job of just love, just passion to go out and do it.
Well, I want to thank you, Chad, for being on this show. I think you're excellent at what you do. I saw you in motion, and you were just probably a brand new agent at that open house. And
Oh man,
you've
less than a
come
year
such
into
a
this.
long way from that time,
Yeah, they say I
But I
was.
knew that day when I went to your open house, I said, this guy's going to kill it. I knew you were going to be good at what you do, and you were going to be very professional at what you do. And I'm glad that not only did you learn good habits in real estate, but you kept those good habits and you continue to build on them.
Well, I
And
appreciate it.
like a lot of people think they have to be somebody else. But I'm a very proud teacher to have had you as a student back then. And I hope that we'll continue working and mentoring with one another, because sometimes the mentee teaches the mentor. And you've taught me a lot about my work ethic over the years. And I just wanted to say, heart to heart, that because of you, also, I like barbecued beef too.
Well, I do want to show you one thing that I do have from the class, and I'm going to move my camera here. That is my vision wall
There you go. I love
right
it.
there.
Vision 2020.
So
That was one of the things we learned, right? Business
yeah,
planning, vision boards,
yep. You
goal
talk
setting.
about vision boards, and I want a vision wall, and every day I'm adding stuff to that. I find something, an inspirational quote or a new Bible verse or something, and it goes up there.
Good for you. I'm going to just show our next seminar for Sonona Speak Seminars. It's coming out tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I wish you could come, Chad, but because this one's going to be entitled Update Your Tech Ed, and it's going to be coming to you on Long Island at the Holiday Inn in Plainview on March 19th. And tomorrow is the big announcement of who the speakers are going to be and what we're going to be doing for March 19th. So I hope everybody's going to come, and the tickets go on sale at 12 o'clock. So I just want to thank you again, Chad Brannam, for everything you do and for just being who you are and keeping it real in real estate. So I thank you, and I'll speak to you soon. And this is Joe Sonona signing out with Coffee Talk with the Listing Pros. And keep cool and warm over there in Wyoming.
Yeah, it's trying to snow right now. So,
Well, the sun is trying to beam through here, and I feel like a spiritual saint here with the sun behind me. So I'll talk to you soon. Have a
all
good
right,
day,
appreciate
everybody.
it, Joe. Have a good day.
Take care.